Stop scrolling for a second. Imagine transforming your body and mind in just 30 days. And what if I told you it doesn't take hours at the gym or strict diets? Today, I'm going to show you how small daily actions, simple step goals, and workout streaks can completely change the way you look, feel, and think. Are you ready to start your transformation?
When it comes to fitness and health, one of the biggest misconceptions people have is that they need to be perfect in order to see results. They think if they miss a workout, eat something they consider bad, or don't stick exactly to a plan, all their effort is wasted. The truth is, progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from showing up consistently, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, and even when things don't go exactly as planned. Consistency is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, and over time, it becomes automatic. When you focus on consistency over perfection, you shift your mindset from chasing an ideal outcome to embracing a process, which is infinitely more sustainable in the long run. It's about proving to yourself that you can keep going, day after day, no matter what. This is where small, manageable actions like 10-minute workouts, daily step goals, or simple stretches come in. They might seem insignificant on any single day, but stacked together over weeks and months, they create massive results. The magic happens not because you did something perfectly every single time, but because you did it regularly. You don't need to be an expert, have the latest gear, or spend hours in the gym to make progress. All you need is the commitment to show up consistently. And when you start seeing how these small actions add up, it changes everything. Suddenly, missing a day doesn't feel like failure. It's just a pause, and you can pick right back up without guilt or discouragement. Consistency also teaches patience and discipline because you learn that results take time and that there's no overnight transformation. You begin to appreciate the journey and the incremental improvements rather than obsessing over immediate perfection. Over time, this approach becomes part of your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, someone who doesn't quit when things get challenging, and someone who prioritizes action over waiting for motivation to appear. Motivation is unpredictable, but habits built through consistency are reliable, and those habits are what create lasting change. When you commit to showing up regularly, your brain rewires itself to expect that behavior, making it easier and more natural each day. You also start to notice a shift in how you approach other areas of your life because the confidence and self-discipline gained from consistent action spill over into your routines, your work, and even your relationships. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect body, or the perfect schedule, you focus on progress, and that alone keeps you moving forward. This is why experts always emphasize that fitness is a marathon, not a sprint, and why small, consistent steps are far more effective than sporadic bursts of intensity followed by long breaks. Every day you show up, you reinforce a habit, build momentum, and prove to yourself that you are capable of following through. And that momentum compounds over time, creating results you never thought were possible.
One of the most powerful ways to build momentum in fitness and health is by committing to a 30-day challenge. And the reason these challenges work so well is that they give you a clear, achievable time frame to focus on one habit without feeling overwhelmed or intimidated. When you set out to do something for 30 days, it doesn't feel like a lifetime commitment. And that short-term focus allows you to fully immerse yourself in the process and track your progress more effectively. Whether it's doing push-ups every morning, walking a certain number of steps each day, or practicing yoga, these challenges create structure in a way that makes consistency easier to maintain. The beauty of a 30-day challenge is that it forces you to prioritize showing up over worrying about results right away, which is a mindset shift that's often missing when people dive into fitness with unrealistic expectations. By focusing on a single habit for a month, you're able to see tangible improvements in your body and mind, and those small wins compound over time, building both momentum and confidence. Momentum is what keeps you going even on days when motivation is low, because once you start experiencing the benefits, whether it's increased strength, better endurance, improved mood, or simply the satisfaction of completing a task, your brain begins to crave that feeling of accomplishment. This creates a positive feedback loop where showing up becomes easier and more rewarding each day. Another reason 30-day challenges are so effective is that they allow you to measure progress clearly and visually. You can track your workouts, count your steps, or mark off each day on a calendar, and seeing the streak grow creates a tangible sense of achievement. This visual reinforcement is motivating in a way that abstract goals rarely are, because you're literally seeing evidence of your effort piling up over time. Challenges also teach discipline and patience, because results aren't instantaneous, and learning to stick with something despite not seeing dramatic changes immediately is one of the most valuable skills you can develop in fitness and in life. By the end of 30 days, you not only notice physical improvements, but you also notice a mental shift. You start to view yourself as someone who follows through and is capable of sticking to commitments, and that confidence spills over into other areas of your life, making other goals feel more attainable. The great thing about 30-day challenges is that they are flexible and customizable. You can tailor them to your current fitness level, lifestyle, and goals, which ensures that the challenge is realistic yet still pushes you to grow. Whether it's a challenge focused on strength, mobility, cardio, or daily steps, the key is consistency and progression, gradually building intensity or duration as you become stronger and more confident. By the time the 30 days are over, you've created momentum, proven to yourself that you can commit to a goal, and developed a habit that can extend well beyond the challenge itself, turning short-term action into long-term lifestyle change. These challenges are not just exercises, they are mindset tools that help you embrace consistency, measure progress, and cultivate the self-discipline necessary to continue improving. And once you experience that momentum, it becomes easier to tackle new challenges, set higher goals, and maintain a healthy, active lifestyle without relying solely on motivation.
Step goals are one of the simplest yet most effective ways to improve your fitness and overall health. And the reason they work so well is that they are easy to track, require no equipment, and can fit seamlessly into your daily life. Unlike complicated workout plans or expensive gym memberships, all you need is a goal and the willingness to move. And that simplicity is what makes step goals so powerful. When you commit to a daily target, whether it's 5,000, 10,000, or 15,000 steps, you start to make movement a priority in a way that doesn't feel intimidating. And over time, those small, consistent actions add up to huge results. Walking, in particular, is underrated because it's low impact, improves circulation, strengthens your heart, and even boosts your mood. But many people underestimate how much it can contribute to overall fitness. Step goals also help build accountability because unlike abstract goals like exercise more, they give you a concrete number to hit every day. And that clarity makes it easier to track progress and measure success. Every step you take reinforces the habit of consistent movement, and that habit begins to influence other areas of your health as well. You start noticing that you're more active in general, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, walking to run errands instead of driving short distances, and incorporating small bursts of activity throughout your day. Step goals are also incredibly flexible. You can walk at your own pace, break your steps into smaller increments, or turn them into mini challenges like a lunchtime walk or a morning stroll to kickstart your day. This flexibility ensures that you can maintain the habit long-term without feeling restricted or overwhelmed, and it helps prevent burnout, which is common when people dive into overly ambitious fitness routines. Another benefit of step goals is the mental clarity and stress relief that comes from moving your body. Walking increases blood flow, releases endorphins, and gives your mind a chance to reset, which can improve focus, mood, and productivity. Unlike intense workouts that leave you exhausted, step goals create energy and consistency, reinforcing the idea that fitness doesn't have to be painful or complicated to be effective. Additionally, seeing your daily steps accumulate gives a sense of accomplishment and progress. Checking your step tracker or calendar at the end of the day provides a visual confirmation that your effort matters, and that feedback motivates you to continue showing up the next day. Over time, these small wins create momentum, build confidence, and reinforce a positive identity as someone who moves regularly and prioritizes health. Step goals can also complement other fitness routines, acting as a foundation that supports more structured workouts like strength training, yoga, or HIIT sessions. By combining consistent daily movement with other forms of exercise, you create a balanced, sustainable approach to fitness that addresses both cardiovascular health and overall mobility. The most important thing to remember is that it's not about hitting an exact number every day or being perfect. It's about creating a routine that keeps you moving consistently. Even if you fall short some days, the habit of striving for your step goal builds discipline, reinforces consistency, and sets the stage for long-term results, proving that the simplest habits, like walking and accumulating steps, can have an outsized impact on your physical and mental well-being. Workout streaks are one of the most effective tools for building accountability and creating a habit that lasts. And what makes them so powerful is the psychological effect of not wanting to break the chain.
When you commit to moving your body every single day, even if it's just a short 10-minute session, you start to associate showing up with a sense of pride and accomplishment, and that feeling becomes addictive. Unlike traditional workouts where you might skip a day without consequence, streaks create an invisible contract with yourself where each day matters and the streak itself becomes a motivating factor. The beauty of this approach is that it focuses on consistency over intensity. So even on days when you feel tired, stressed, or unmotivated, you're still likely to do something rather than nothing. That small action keeps the momentum alive, reinforces discipline, and prevents gaps that often make it harder to get back on track. Another key benefit of workout streaks is that they create a clear visual representation of progress. Whether you use a calendar, an app, or even a simple checklist, seeing a growing streak builds excitement and reinforces your commitment. You start to feel a sense of ownership and pride in your habit, and that psychological boost encourages you to continue showing up even when it's challenging. Streaks also cultivate a mindset shift because they teach you that effort matters more than perfection. You don't need to complete an intense hour-long session every day. What matters is that you do something consistently. That approach reduces the pressure and makes fitness feel more achievable, which is why many people find streaks more sustainable than sporadic, high-intensity routines. In addition, workout streaks foster accountability in subtle ways. When you share your streak with friends, family, or an online community, you create social accountability, which further strengthens your commitment. People tend to follow through when they know others are aware of their progress, and that sense of community can make the challenge more enjoyable and motivating. Another advantage is the habit formation that comes naturally from streaks. Once you've maintained a streak for weeks, it becomes part of your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who shows up, who prioritizes their health, and who is capable of following through on commitments. That identity reinforces consistency and makes it easier to maintain the habit long-term. Streaks also teach resilience because life will inevitably throw obstacles at you, busy days, travel, fatigue, or stress. But by committing to a streak, you learn to adapt and find ways to move even when conditions aren't perfect. Over time, this resilience becomes part of your mindset, spilling over into other areas of life beyond fitness. Finally, streaks create a sense of progression and achievement that fuels motivation without relying on external rewards. Each day you show up is proof that you are disciplined, committed, and capable of creating change. And that internal validation builds confidence, reinforces the habit, and establishes a foundation for long-term success, showing that accountability is not just about external factors, but about training your mind and body to prioritize action consistently.
One of the most powerful aspects of building any fitness habit, whether it's a 30-day challenge, step goal, or workout streak, is the ability to measure your progress and see tangible results over time. Because tracking your efforts transforms abstract goals into something real and actionable. When you can visualize the progress you're making, whether it's through a calendar, an app, or a simple journal, it provides immediate feedback and reinforces the idea that your efforts are making a difference, which is incredibly motivating. Measurable progress allows you to celebrate small wins along the way, and those small victories build momentum and confidence, making it more likely that you'll stick with your routine long-term. Tracking progress also shifts your focus from perfection to growth, because instead of worrying about whether you did everything perfectly on a given day, you can see a clear picture of how far you've come and how consistent you've been. This shift in perspective is critical because it helps you appreciate the journey rather than obsessing over instant results. Over time, measuring progress creates a mental shift where you begin to see yourself as someone capable of following through and achieving goals. And that shift in identity is one of the most transformative aspects of habit building. When you track your workouts, steps, or challenges, you're not just collecting numbers. You're reinforcing a mindset that prioritizes action, consistency, and self-accountability. This mindset shift extends beyond fitness because the confidence gained from seeing measurable improvement encourages you to tackle other goals with the same discipline and focus. Another benefit of measuring progress is that it provides clarity on what's working and what isn't, allowing you to adjust your approach when necessary. For example, if you notice that your step goal is consistently falling short, you can make small adjustments to your routine, such as taking short walks during breaks or incorporating more movement into your day. This ability to adapt based on measurable data ensures that your efforts are effective and sustainable, rather than random or inconsistent.
Measurable progress also enhances motivation by turning effort into something visible and tangible. Every time you complete a workout, hit your step goal, or mark a day on your challenge calendar, you create a sense of accomplishment that reinforces the habit loop and makes it easier to continue showing up. That feeling of achievement is addictive in the best way because it proves to yourself that consistency leads to results. The mindset shift that comes with tracking progress is equally important. You start to value effort and perseverance over instant gratification, and you learn to trust the process. You recognize that meaningful change doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent, tracked action, your body and mind adapt, grow stronger, and become more resilient. Ultimately, measurable progress combined with a mindset shift creates a foundation for long-term success because you're no longer reliant on fleeting motivation or external validation. Instead, you rely on consistent action, data-driven feedback, and self-belief, which together cultivate the confidence, discipline, and resilience necessary to maintain a healthy lifestyle and achieve goals that once seemed out of reach, proving that when you track your journey and internalize the growth, fitness becomes a sustainable, empowering, and transformative part of your life.